Gemini popped into my head, so we're doing Gemini tonight. First thing I want to do is get a snapshot of where Gemini is right now. We've got the Tower. An abrupt change of some sort, or abrupt changes in your life recently. I can believe that with Uranus being in Gemini right now. If you guys have a Gemini ascendant or a sun in Gemini, the way that people perceive you might be changing. The way that you think about yourself might be changing. The way that you approach other people, the way that you enter a room. All of that could be going on, but with the Tower, that could signify that there's an ending of some sort for a lot of you as well. Some of you might be leaving home, some of you might be leaving a living situation, or there might be growing distance between yourself and the life that you knew, which I'm seeing as home for many of you. It's like a lot of you are distancing yourselves from your home life, from your family, or from people that you've been attached to in a very close way. But I don't see this as a negative card today. I'm seeing excitement, changes, endings, but there's something new coming in. Now let's have a look into your near future and see what that might be. We had the Page of Swords jump out. I'm going to put that off to the side. There is an energy here of a lot of you moving differently. Not necessarily getting the spotlight, but feeling a little bit more comfortable with yourselves. I like the way that the Page of Swords is going about her way, but she's doing it in style. Swords represent cutting things off, right? So if a lot of you are cutting old people off from your life, like old friends or again, maybe family, an ex-lover, something like that, you might be moving out of that and moving forward with your life, feeling better than ever, even looking better than ever. I'm really getting a kind of sensuality from this card. Like you look good, you look stylish. People are noticing you, you're catching people's eye, you kind of look good, you look attractive. You're moving through the world here in the near future with a little bit of charisma and a little bit of self-esteem. It's very different from the Tower card where you're kind of free-falling. There's some changes, some shifts, some uncertainties. This card has both feet on the ground, lifting that sword up like, I know where I'm going, I'm in charge. Yeah, I'm seeing you like the center of attention right now. Let's get another card for this Page of Swords. More in the near future for Gemini. The cards are kind of starting and stopping as I keep asking this question about your near future. It feels to me like there might be certain blockages or certain things might not be set in stone. So what I'm about to pull here, maybe take it with a grain of salt. This is just going to be one possibility. Give us a possibility. And again, we had another card jump right out. This time it's the Queen of Wands. And again, a card of attraction, a card of sexuality. Some of you really might be feeling yourselves, feeling good about yourselves. Many of you might be feeling a little bit frisky, maybe romantic. You might be meeting some people. You might be meeting a lot of people. The Queen of Wands has a gift for drawing people in. So a lot of you might be making friends, might be speaking your truth. I see you here communicating, and the way that you speak has power, which is to say the way that you speak is attractive to people. It's almost like some of you are very flirtatious, even without meaning to be. What's that word? Seductive. There's something seductive about the way that you're speaking or the way that you're showing up. So again, this is in the near future. And the Tower is now in your past. Are you letting go of something? Are you letting go of somebody? With these cards in your future, it's almost like you've learned a lot through your upheavals. You've learned a lot through chaos. Maybe a lot of you are just very used to chaos because your whole lives have been chaotic. Again, I'm getting a sense of home here, so maybe your home lives have been chaotic, but wherever the chaos is coming from, it's almost like this is your moment to shine because through the things that you've gone through, you are very unique, very interesting to other people. This is just a time when people are really going to want to get to know you. Some of you will be making a lot of friends. Some of you will be updating your wardrobes. Some of you will start to have a stronger, how do I put this? Maybe like a stronger online presence. I'm seeing a little bit like fame here. I'm not saying that you're going to get famous or, if you want to be an influencer, I'm not saying that you're suddenly going to get 50,000 subscribers on YouTube or something. But this might be a good time pretty soon if you're interested in something like that, if you're interested in utilizing your presence and your face and your personality to do something like that. It might be in the cards in your near future to do so. So for instance, if some of you are in sales, this energy is really going to help you in the near future. If some of you are more like artists and stuff, this isn't really the time to necessarily do art, but this is really like a kind of networking energy, getting to know people, establishing friendships, establishing relationships with other people, not necessarily in a super deep way, but in a way that's kind of casual and flirtatious and fun. Putting yourself out there, I think, is a good way to think about this. You want to put yourself out out there, or it will be a time when you have to put yourself out there, maybe even if you're not very comfortable with it. And you'll find that it's really not too bad if you don't really like that kind of stuff. The cards are showing you kind of having fun with this. Let's get a lesson that you need to be learning right now. What does the universe want you to know? I like to ask this question because sometimes we get bogged down in like these little things. People want to know, ooh, does this person like me? Or am I going to be rich? Or am I going to make money? Sometimes you really just need to know the lesson behind things so that even if you don't get what you want, you at least kind of understand why it's happening. So I like to ask this question. Let's get a big lesson for Gemini right now that the universe is trying to teach you, to show you, to guide you towards. We got the Temperance card. What a beautiful card to get. Again, this is like you shining. I mean, look at this card. It is an angel with these gorgeous wings. I mean, I was talking about you being the center of attention, being very attractive. Look at this card. Temperance brings things together, mixes things together into a delightful cocktail, right? That's what this card is doing. The figure in this card is tempering the wine. Back in ancient times, they used to have wine that was really strong and they used to cut it with water. So they would temper it so that it would be just right. So there's an idea here of kind of balancing things, of mixing things up. If you think about the tower as being a lot of upheavals, a lot of chaos, the temperance is about having a little bit more order, having a little bit more structure, having a little more consistency so that things aren't crazy all the time. Maybe some of you are a little too used to crazy, and it's time to learn a little bit more about being mellow, being fair, being just a little bit more balanced. That might be a lesson here for some of you. But the big thing that I'm getting is that you guys are going to be center stage in the spotlight. That Temperance card, I mean, again, I'm getting this sensuality from the cards today. Look at that kind of sassy walk from the Page of Swords, and then think about the Queen of Wands being this fiery, alluring older woman. There's a sense here of you really coming of age or coming into your own. If some of you have been a little uncertain about who you are, this is kind of you finding that. Some of you might really be entering a slightly new chapter of your life where you are walking into your life with a bit more maturity or a bit more experience. So all of that is possible here. But again, I'm getting the sensuality, and then the Temperance shows up in that beautiful gown with those gorgeous wings. I mean, this is like the belle of the ball appearing on the stairwell. And there's no gender in the cards, right? This is just kind of an example of what I'm seeing. But there's something about you that's a little bit magnetic. I think the universe wants you to learn how to harness this power, maybe. I say power like it's the X-Men or something, but you know what I mean. Like this skill, this trait, this attribute, it can be very powerful to be alluring. Some people don't know how to handle that. So for some of you, that's going to be a lesson here, is learning how to handle attention in a way that's constructive, whatever that means to you. You know, for some people, it's like using the attention to get the things that you want, finally. For some, it's using the attention in a positive way to point out something that needs to be pointed out. Think of like an activist or something like that, right? So this could go any number of ways, but the point is a lot of eyes are on you. A lot of eyes are attracted to you, or a lot of people are just looking at you. They're listening to you. Some of you might be public speakers. Some of you might be using your voice or your writing in some way. And this could become very important, either to your public image or just to your sense of purpose. Now let's turn to an outcome. Like, what does the universe really want to take you to by the end of this? We're starting with the Tower. We're seeing you kind of becoming a little magnetic, a little alluring, attractive, very balanced, consistent. Where are you going? All right. We pulled two cards here, and what an interesting pair they are. We've got the Fool and the Nine of Cups. So the Fool is an interesting card. I want you to think about the fact that we start with the Tower, somebody's falling off of something, and then we end with the Fool, who is doing a balancing act at the peak of a mountain or at the precipice of something. So these are two very different cards, right? One is falling, one is tumbling, one is unsure of where he's going to land. Things are changing, things are up in the air. But the way we conclude is with you on top, with you doing a balancing act, kind of playing around. Look at this Fool. He's not in danger of falling off the cliff or falling off the edge of the building or whatever it might be. He's up there having fun with it. He's up there kind of performing, putting on a show. So again, I'm seeing a lot of you being the center of attention here, eyes on you, putting on a show. Performing might be a big thing for some of you. Some of you might be actors or you're part of the theater, or you know, you have a YouTube channel or whatever it might be. Think about too with Temperance being about balance, and here at the top you are balancing on that mountain peak. So it looks like the lesson that the universe is trying to teach you, you really absorb it, you really learn it. And that Nine of Cups is saying that you feel fulfilled. Maybe we go from a little uncertainty at the beginning, maybe even some fear. Where are things going to go? How are things going to end up? Am I losing everything? Or where am I going to go if I lose X, Y, or Z? There's some kind of confusion and a little bit of trepidation at the beginning. At the end, it's a lot happier. It's a lot more content. It's a lot more fulfilled. That Nine of Cups, he kind of has everything that he wants. And think too about the fact that the Fool can see where he's coming from. The card is facing backwards towards the Tower. And he's also at the top, whereas the guy in the tower is kind of falling off. It's almost like the version of you in the future is looking at the version of you in the past, the person who's tumbling, and it's like you have the perspective now to understand why you went through the things that you went through, and you're in a much more stable place. Even though the Fool can represent instability, the fact that we have Temperance as your lesson here, and then the Fool with that Nine of Cups tells me that you are more balanced. There's a bit of a question though, because the Fool, he's a little bit risky, right? He's still a little bit naive. So I feel like there are lessons that you have yet to learn. You have to be a little bit careful that after you've gone through so much, that you don't allow old patterns that you're used to pull you back down. That's the danger of the Fool. The Tower can represent those old patterns of maybe toxicity or self-destruction, or like of shooting yourself in the foot. I know so many Geminis who have that problem where they're kind of their own worst enemy. And the Fool is a little bit of a warning. Don't slip back into those old patterns, whatever they might be. Even if I don't list them, you know what they are. So there's a little bit of a warning here. In that Nine of Cups though, he's content. I feel like something's pulling you back from the cliff and saying it's time to move in a more fulfilling direction. All right, and that is all I have for you tonight, Gemini. I hope you got something out of that. If you appreciated this reading, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys again next time.